Yep. Good morning, everyone. So, last session, I given an overview of what are the basics of JavaScript. So, I explained some basic like what are the topics we learned is I given information about what is JavaScript, and we discussed about what are the versions of JavaScript, and where JavaScript is used. JavaScript is used. So these important concepts we discussed. So yesterday we learned these points. I hope you are clear with this. So JavaScript is having two type of compiling techniques. What are those? Two types of compiling techniques. What are those? JIT. Two types of compiling techniques we learned. One is JIT, another uh, one is JIT, another one is AOT. We learned two types of JIT is just in time, and AOT is ahead of time. What is difference? Remember, JIT means JIT compiled means the program is compiled in browser level. The program is compiled at browser level. AOT compiled means the application is compiled at the JavaScript is compiled at application level. JavaScript is JIT compiled, AOT compiled, and interpreted. Where we can use JavaScript, I told you the points. So JavaScript is used in HTML client side. It can be used server side. It can be used in database, animations, everywhere. What is the role of JavaScript client side? Client side JavaScript is used for handling one point I told you, DOM manipulation. It is used for handling DOM manipulations. So these are all concepts I explained in the last session. If anyone missed this, I will upload yesterday's and previous two videos into Classroom today, so that you can go through those videos, what we discussed in previous two demo sessions. So I will share a Classroom link at the end for the new people. They can join that class. All the notes and previous videos I will upload there. Okay. Now today, after understanding what is JavaScript and what are the various versions and how they work, I told you that JavaScript versions are what? ECMA versions, ECMA. And what is the latest ECMA version is 2022. The latest ECMA is 2022, but still companies are working on. So ES7, ES6, ES5. Majority companies are now currently working on ES6 or 7 only, right? So, but knowing about some latest features is good. Later, if your companies upgrade to the new ones, you need to know what new features are coming. We are going to learn up to 2022 what new features are added into JavaScript. We will discuss about that. Okay. So these all concepts yesterday I explained. What are the versions, where it is used, and how. Now from today, we will start practically working with JavaScript. That means, so we are going to learn how to set up environment for JavaScript projects. How do we set up environment for JavaScript project? I will tell you that. That means we have to learn complete JavaScript end to end. For that, we better keep a project environment, because you need to know in real-time projects wherever JavaScript is used, how it is used, what are the rules, how they define everything. We need to understand. We need to set up environment for JavaScript project. So how do we do that? What is the environment setup? First important is, so you have to install Node.js on your PC. This is first step. You have to install Node.js on your PC. So in your computers, you have to install this Node.js software. Actually, Node.js, by installing Node.js, you will get Node.js, so which is used for server-side programming, because we will learn some JavaScript server-side also. I will tell you. For that, you need Node.js. Another important is Node.js is not only for server-side programming. By installing Node.js, you will get Node compiler also. You will get Node.js, which is used for server-side programming. You will get a Node compiler. Node compiler, it is used to compile. It is used to compile JavaScript programs. That means we can compile the JavaScript programs. We can compile and run JavaScript programs. You can compile and run JavaScript programs using this compiler actually. Yesterday I told you some names of compiler. What are popular JavaScript compilers? Babel is one compiler. Anything? Babel, V8, right? Node, all these comes under JavaScript compilers. So in order to compile JavaScript programs, in order to check what are the problems in JavaScript programs, so you need a Node compiler. So you will get, actually, in general, people don't use this regularly because they learn JavaScript with HTML. When anyone is learning JavaScript with HTML, so then what happens is, in the browser itself, they are compiled. That's the reason many people don't know compilers of JavaScript, because majority of people who learn JavaScript, they learn JavaScript with HTML. Due to that, they don't need a compiler. Why? Because the JavaScript programs are directly compiled in browser. Now here we are going to learn without HTML also. Without HTML, how JavaScript is used, I will show you. Server side, in databases and all. In that case, we need a separate compiler, and you will get that compiler by installing Node.js. Now, if you install Node.js on your PC, how to install, I will show you. When you install, you will get server-side programming library. It will give a server-side programming library, and it will give a Node compiler. Not only that, it will give npm. npm is nothing but, so it is Node package manager. It will give npm, Node package manager. I hope you people know about package manager softwares. Actually, there are so many package manager softwares. Package manager software. Package managers are important for developers. They have to use package manager. Package manager is a tool actually. For example, I will tell you why it is required. For example, suppose I am developing a project. in that project, I want to use some bootstrap. I want to use some bootstrap. Bootstrap is a library for designing effective UI. We need bootstrap. So, or we need jQuery, or we need some other library. Then generally what developer have to do, if they have to get any library, first they have to visit the website. Suppose we have getbootstrap.com. They have to visit the concerned website. Now, next step, what we have to do, we have to download. That means we need to download. You see, there is a download. We have to download. When you download, what will happen? When you download, a zip file will come. In that zip file, all the files are compressed and kept there. Now, what developer have to do? Copy the zip file, extract the zip file, copy all its files, go to project and paste those files in the project. That means if you want any library, generally what you have to do, download the library, copy the library files and keep those library files inside the page, means inside your project. This is a lengthy process to do. That is the reason software developers, what they do is they use tools called package manager. What is the purpose of package manager is you just run one command from your project. Automatically it will connect to that library, download the library, install and copy all the files in your project. Not only that, later after few days, some new updates came into that library. Then by running one command, you can easily update your library. If you want to remove the library, then you don't need to delete the files. Just run one command that will uninstall the library. So managing libraries through a package manager is very easy. Package manager is a software. You can see here, they give that option. When I go to download, they will say that use package managers. They will show you here package managers like Yarn, like Ruby Gems, Composer, NuGet, and NPM. NPM is the package manager that comes with Node.js. What is advantage of having this package manager is you can just run one command. That means there are so many other package managers like NPM. We have like Yarn, you have like Composer, so you have like NuGet. These are all different types of like Bower. So many types of package managers are there. What is advantage is, so if you have these package managers, then it is simple to install any library. You can run a command like npm install some jQuery like this. Automatically what it will do, it will connect to that website. It will download the library and it will install the library for you. So that is the reason, if you want to update, if you want to uninstall, just you have to run these commands like npm uninstall install jQuery like this. If you want to update, you have to say npm update jQuery like that. You have to run the commands. So technically, these are the commands that work easily for handling any kind of library. So in every web developer's computer who are specially working with now JavaScript, so we need three important things. One is the Node.js. Node.js is for server-side programming library. Compiler for compiling our JavaScript programs independently without HTML. Another one is package manager, so that we can install any new libraries, update the libraries, So by using commands, these are the tools. So you will get all these by just installing Node.js. You will get all these by installing Node.js. So how to get that is you visit the website here. You can visit the official website of Node.js. You see, this is nodejs.org. This is the official website of Node.js. That is official website of Node.js. That is nodejs.org. So visit this website, nodejs.org. That is the official website. After you visit this website, you can see in this website, you will find 2 downloads are there. Remember, it is for every operating system. According to which operating system you are using, automatically it recognizes and it gives you a suggestion. If you want, you can go to other downloads. You will get set up for other operating systems, right? So here you see these are 2 versions available. So 18.14 and 19.7. Now 2 versions are there. This is the latest version with some new features. These are for the people who already installed Node.js and want to update. So you don't try this. As of now, you download and install 18x version. This you do. Not 19 required. 19 is later required when you are updating. So as of now, this is enough. But still, some technologies, some companies are not using this latest version of Node.js. So that is the reason they may ask you to install any older version. Then in the list, you will find the old versions. You can download the old versions. But for our current concepts, this 18 version of Node.js is enough. Make sure that you have installed 18. Because many of latest technologies are asking for Node.js above 12 and higher version. Because many people who are already working in some companies, they already have Node.js in their PC. They already have Node.js in their PC. And if you already have Node.js in the PC, first verify which version of Node.js is present. And if any version is less than 12, then please update to the new versions. Because our latest concepts, whatever we are going to learn here, they need advanced version of Node.js. So make sure that you download it and install this version. It's a simple process, nothing complicated. What you do is click on that download and it will give you a setup file here. And you just run the setup file. You run the setup file. It will guide you step by step, few steps. And you can see here. So once the download is completed, so you can install the latest one. So open that file. And when you open the file, installation will start. It will verify whether the required space for that installation is available on your PC. Once it is available, then it will start the process of installation. So you have to just click on next. And here it is asking terms and conditions. We select this and where to install. It will install in program files. Leave it. You don't need to disturb that. And just click on next, finish. Then just click on next and install. You don't need to do any changes in any of those messages it is showing. Just accept the terms and install. Now it is going to install Node.js in my PC. So why we are installing Node.js? We are installing Node.js for 3 reasons. One, to use JavaScript server side, another one for compiling JavaScript programs, because Node.js will give a compiler of JavaScript, and another one is for a package manager. Package manager is what? npm. So as you saw, what is the role of package manager? So I will continue the installation. Yes. What is the purpose of package manager? If anyone asks, like, what is package manager? What is package manager? So package manager is nothing but it is a software tool used by developers to install, update, and remove the libraries from project. That means it is a software tool used by developers to install libraries, to update libraries, and remove libraries from the project. So when you are developing a project, you want to install one library. Then instead of visiting their website and downloading, copying files, you can simply use this tool, right? Now you can see Node.js installed successfully. So after Node.js installed successfully, finish. Now, after you install Node.js here, check the version of Node.js. Check Node.js version. You check the Node.js version. Node.js version, how to check is, you can open your command prompt. Anywhere you can open the command prompt and you can type node and flag v. And that is for verifying which version of Node.js is currently installed. And another one is npm v. This is for verifying package manager version. Which package manager you are using, the package manager version. So you open command prompt. You can see this is command prompt. In the command prompt here, we are running just node v. And it will get me the node version 18.14.2, which is the latest according to their website. There is actually latest is 19, which is upgraded for developers only. That is not required for you. As of now, you just go with only 18 version of node. Another one, we have to check npm v. npm v is node package manager version. This is the package manager version. npm version is 9.5. Package manager, why it is used everywhere, I will show you now. We will see that. Okay. So this is Node.js version and package manager version. And make sure that one important is, make sure that your PC is having node version above 12. Currently now they are recommending 14. Above 14 version required, because latest technologies which are JavaScript based, like Angular, React, Vue, all these technologies, they specially ask node 14 and higher. But some companies still, in their companies, they are using node 8 version, node 10 versions, because their projects are so many years long started, and in between they cannot change the versions, and that version is enough for them. But if you are learning latest concepts, you cannot handle them on old version of node. So make sure that you updated to that version. Make sure that the version is 14 above. And another one is npm. So npm version is, npm is greater than 6. Currently you saw npm version is 9. So npm version is currently 9. You can see npm version is 9.5. Node version is 18.14. right? Make sure that the version is above that, then it is fine. That is how it works, right? So make sure that your PC have node version greater than 14 and npm version is greater than 6. Okay. Now, once you have set up Node.js and once you have set up the package manager in your computer, now your computer is ready with the package manager and the package manager for installing libraries, updating them, and Node for compiler and all. Okay. Next step, you need to download and install in Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Code editor. You have to download and install Visual Studio Code editor. You know, as a developer, that editor is a software which is regularly required, because if anybody asks like, can I write JavaScript programs in a notepad? You can write. You can write JavaScript programs in notepad. You can run them, compile them, but you cannot run and compile them in notepad. That means now, for example, if anyone asks like, can I write a C program in notepad? You can write. You can write a Java program also in notepad. But can you compile it in notepad? No. I can write a program in notepad and compile in another location, run it in another location and see the output. That means you need different tools. One tool for writing the program, another tool for compiling the program, another for watching the output. Now, what is the specialty of an editor? It provides, actually, why we need editor? Editor provides an IDE, means integrated development environment. It provides an integrated development environment. What is the advantage of this? It provides an integrated development environment so that you can build the applications, you can debug the applications, you can test the application, and you can deploy application. All you can do from one place. From one place, you can do everything. That means you can write the code, you can compile the code, you can run the code, and you can see the output. Everything you can do from one place. So better to have an editor. Actually, there are so many editors. You can use different types of editors. So you can visit the website editor config.org. You can visit this editorconfig.org. There you can see the list of all editors which are used by developers. You can see a lot of editors are there. This is the website, editorconfig.org. This is the website. So it is the official website of editor configuration. Now, when you visit this website, scroll down. When you visit, you scroll down, you can see this is all the list of editors we have. This is all the list of editors. That means we have lot of editors. These are all lot of editors. So you can use any of these editors. Different technology people use different editors. That means you may be learning JavaScript directly here, but some people who are working on Java, .NET, PHP, Python, or general web development, they may be working with different editors. Java people use Eclipse, Notepad++ like editors. Python people use PyCharm like editors, right? Then already if you are using those editors, you can directly use JavaScript there, no problem. You can build a project and you can write JavaScript programs and you can manage. But So if you are first time working on editors, then better install this editor, Visual Studio Code. We are using Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is free. It is an open source editor, licensed free. It is officially supported by Microsoft. Several editors you need to pay. You have to use trial versions only. But this is free. It is supported by Microsoft. And we recommend this because it has good plugins for all technologies. That means later, if you want to run Java, .NET, PHP, Python like programs also, you can add plugins into this and it can work. It is suitable for every technology people. So better we will use this editor. Later, if you are learning React or Angular or Vue like technologies, majority people use this Visual Studio editor. Why? Because now you are learning JavaScript. Now, what are the issues of JavaScript? I will tell you. In the next point, I will tell you. Issues of JavaScript means what are the drawbacks? Now, what is the solution of problems of JavaScript? I will tell you the drawbacks. In the next point, I will discuss. And what is the solution? In the modern generation, for any software developer, if you ask, what is the solution for problems in JavaScript? Then they will give one answer. Better use another language called TypeScript. TypeScript is the solution for the problems that we are facing with JavaScript. That is the reason in majority of companies, now JavaScript based companies are using TypeScript as a language instead of directly using JavaScript. That is what you will see later when you are learning Angular, React, or other technologies. Two choices are there. You can develop a React application with JavaScript or with TypeScript. Some companies use TypeScript. So developers have to know what are the problems in JavaScript and what is the solution for that. I will explain. Here we are not learning any TypeScript. So this is class only related to JavaScript. But at the end, I will give you a simple or introduction, how it is different. But you will learn TypeScript while learning Angular or React like technologies, they will teach you. You will learn how to handle that language. So instead of JavaScript, we can use TypeScript. And TypeScript is very much trending now. So all modern front-end applications, they prefer using TypeScript rather than directly using JavaScript. Remember, TypeScript again translates everything to JavaScript. So JavaScript is compulsory, but developers directly will not use JavaScript. They will use an TypeScript, and TypeScript belongs to Microsoft. So Visual Studio belongs to Microsoft. So it will give a better help on TypeScript like languages in future. That is the reason we will go with this editor, Visual Studio Code editor. So what you do, you download and install this editor. This is the official website, Visual Studio Code editor official website. I will give the link here. This is Visual Studio Code editor. This is the Visual Studio Code editor. You download Visual Studio Code editor for your PC. It is also available for all operating systems. Any operating system, you can use it. You can download for various operating systems. It will work any platform, right? You download and install. Same a setup will come. Just follow 2 steps. It will install. So this is Visual Studio Code, right? Now, what are the 2 things you have to do up to now? Install Node.js and install Visual Studio Code. Node.js for compiler, package managers, and everything. And Visual Studio Code is for developing the projects, building the project, debugging, testing, deploying, everything we can manage by using this, right? You need to just install this Visual Studio Code editor. Okay. Next important is after you have installed Visual Studio Code, so open Visual Studio Code editor, and install extensions. You install extensions. Because remember, Visual Studio Code is an editor which is empty editor with plain extensions available. If you are using Visual Studio Code for your technology related plugins you have to add. That means you belong to Python, you belong to PHP, you belong to Java, or you belong to .NET, or you belong to general web technologies. Then you have to add relative plugins. Then it will be more better in performance. That means you are a Java developer and using Visual Studio Code. Directly Java programs will not run. What we have to do? We have to install some extensions which will allow Visual Studio to run JavaScript programs. Some extensions are required. So what are the extensions? What you do is, once you installed, go to programs. In the programs, we have Visual Studio Code. You can see Visual Studio Code. After you installed Visual Studio Code, you will find this Visual Studio Code editor. And this is the Visual Studio Code editor we are having. That is Visual Studio Code editor. Initially, this Visual Studio Code editor looks like this. This is an empty editor. This is the home page. Visual Studio Code editor looks like this. This is editor. Now what you have to do is, you have to add some plugins. You need to add some plugins. How to add the plugins? What are the plugins required? I will tell you. So what are the plugins and how do we add? We will see that. So we need the plugins. What are the plugins? You see here there is an extensions button. The last button is extensions button. In the left side panel, you will see there is an extensions button. Click on that extensions button. When you click on the extensions button, it will give you some extensions list. Here you have to search for some extensions. What are the extensions? So many extensions are there. I will give you some extensions. You install them. One is you install live server. You install live server extension. Another one, you install VS Code icons. VS Code icons. So VS Code icons. This is another one. VS Code icons, live server. These two extensions you install initially. VS Code icons and live server, these are basic. Live server is enough. VS Code icons is additional, but it is good actually. Live server is nothing but it allows you to run the programs on server. Generally, for example, you are designing a project. We see people practicing web applications. How they practice web applications is, they create one folder. After creating a folder, they will save some files in the folder. After saving the files in the folder, they will directly run those files. That is not the correct way. That means in real world projects, it will not happen like that. In real world projects, what happens? All your files are kept on a server. That server will start and that server will pick up your files and it will execute your files and it will run your files. So if you are practicing in a different environment and you are working in a different environment, then it leads to a lot of contradictory. That means while practicing, you done in one way, but when you go to real time, they say that this is not the way we do. That means in real world, they are doing in another way. While practicing, you are doing another way. This leads to a lot of confusion. That's the reason better we will not do how generally people practice. We will do in the same way how generally people use in real time. That means in real time environment, how the projects are executed, how the projects are compiled, processed, everything I will tell you, right? We will see that. For that, we need a server to install. So install a live server. We need a server to run our projects. We need a server. Always web applications run on server. That is basic knowledge you already have. You might have learned in HTML. If you written a HTML file, double click on that file and open the file and saw the output, that is not HTML. That is not for real time. That is school level HTML. That means school people, college people do like that. That means create a HTML file, double click, open and see how it looks like. That is not the way you have to work in real time. Why? Because in such environment, whatever configurations you given, they will fail when they go live. When they go live on servers. That's the reason better we will work in live server environment. For that, we need a live server. And how to get the live server? What we have to do? You go to extensions. Here you have to search live server. You have to search live server. And you see live server related lot of options are there. You click on live server and you can see this is one live server. You can install this live server. Already I installed, it is showing uninstall. If you haven't, it will give a install button. You have to click that install. That is how you have to install live server. Once you installed live server in your computer, okay, one more extension is required. What is it? VS Code icons. Search for VS Code icons. You will see VS Code icons and install this one also. Why? Because generally, as a software developer working on web technology, you have to work with so many types of files. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, SAS, less, so many types of files will be there. And all files look same. Then it is difficult for a developer to immediately recognize the file. That's the reason if you have icons, then it is easy. This is nothing but icons. Icons means HTML files, one icon, CSS files, another icon, so that it is easy for a developer to identify the files. Because in order to identify the files, we need extension to see. We have to examine the extension. Is it .js? Is it .html? Is it .css? Instead of that, if you have icons, then it will be very easy, so that you can see the file name icon and you can tell that this is HTML, this is CSS, easy. For that, you install these VS icons. These two extensions are initially enough. These two extensions are enough. So I hope you are clear up to now. So you have to do three things now. First thing, install Node.js. Second, install Visual Studio Code. And third, add some extensions into Visual Studio Code. What are the extensions? Live server extension and VS Code icons. Okay, next important is after doing this, it is ready now. It is ready. Now we need to set up a project for JavaScript. We need to set up a project for JavaScript. Setting up a project for JavaScript, there are so many ways. There are so many ways to set up a project for JavaScript. I will explain different ways. I will explain different ways. Finally, we will use one technique. Finally, we will use one technique, but different techniques I will tell you. How do we set up a project for JavaScript? To start working with JavaScript, first what you do is, first step is, you need to create a new folder on your PC for JavaScript project. For JavaScript project, you need to create a new folder. For JavaScript project, you need to create a new folder. On your PC, anywhere, you create one folder. For example, I will go to my PC locations. In my PC, I will go some D drive, E drive, any location I can choose. I am going to D drive. and in D drive, create a new folder. I'm adding a folder by name JavaScript project. I'm giving a name called JavaScript project. Any name you can give. So I created a new folder in my D drive by name JavaScript project. You can choose any location you want on your PC. First, create a folder on your PC for JavaScript project. Any name you can give for your project. Next step is open your project folder in Visual Studio Code. That is our editor. Na? You have to work in this editor. So open your project folder in Visual Studio Code. So what you have to do, open Visual Studio Code, here open folder. Go to file menu, or you can select open folder. And what is the project folder? It is kept in which location? It is kept in D drive. In D drive, what is it? It is a JavaScript project. Open that folder location. This is ready. Now this is your project. This is your JavaScript project. Currently it is empty. JavaScript project is empty. It is not having any files, right? Now here, lot of work is there. Lot of options are there. Let's see what are those. First important, after you open project folder in VS Code, here, next step, what you have to do is add following folders. Add following folders into project. Add following folders into project. Every professional project usually contains two basic folders. One is public, another one SRC. As per the project traditions, every professional web application project contains two folders called public and SRC. You need to create them. And generally, every professional, that means you go to Angular, you go to React, you go to Vue, like technologies, anywhere, people who are developing web applications, they follow certain standards, some important folders. That means we need to follow the tradition. What is the purpose of public folder is? Usually public, it is used to keep all static resources. To keep all static resources, we use public folder. Static resources means what? The HTML files, images, text documents, PDF documents, all docx. So any PowerPoint presentations, all such documents, any audio files, video files, everything we will keep here. All the static resources are kept in which location? Public. Every professional project must contain a folder called public. So, and the purpose of public folder is to keep all the static resources. Another, you create another folder SRC. The purpose of SRC folder, it is used to keep all dynamic resources. Dynamic resources are kept in this folder. All dynamic resources are kept in this folder. All dynamic resources are kept in this folder. What are the dynamic resources? Dynamic resources means JavaScript files, TypeScript files, CSS files, SAS files, less files. All these files are kept in this location. That means all dynamic resources are kept in SRC and all static resources are kept in public. They are kept in public. That is the point. So make sure that your project is having these two folders initially. Keep these two folders. So let's go. And here in JavaScript project, there are buttons. This is new file and this is new folder button. That means it is to create a new folder. Now click that button, add a folder called public, and and don't select this one. When you select this, it will add another folder inside it, right? Click outside and add one more folder, that is src. These are the folders. So one is public, another one is src. These are the two basic folders you need for a project. Okay, we added that. Later we will keep files inside them. We will keep the files inside. Initially, what is the purpose of public? For all static resources. src is for dynamic resources. Okay, once you done this, next step is, after you added these two folders, next what you have to do is open. Here you have to open terminal in VS Code. Actually, terminal is nothing but terminal is command line. Terminal is command line to run commands. In order to run commands, you have a terminal in Visual Studio Code. Use the terminal. That means you go to here in the main menu, you can see there is a terminal menu. And go to terminal menu and select new terminal. You can see a terminal will open here. You can see a terminal will open here. Terminal is nothing but it gives a command prompt. That command generally we can do from separate command prompt. It is very risky to switch between apps. So open it here itself. But here one problem is there. I will tell you how to solve it. Keep it in mind. You have to do that. So actually, when you open terminal, this terminal have two types. Usually terminal have a PS. PS is a PowerShell. It's a PowerShell. It's a PowerShell. And you have a command prompt also. CMD is a command prompt. Use command prompt because PowerShell is a special tool. It requires some more installation. You need to install. Just like if you know Linux, Unix have PowerShells. They have shell where we run the commands. Commands are executed in a separate PowerShell actually. Windows also have a PowerShell, but that Windows PowerShell is incomplete in many computers. That is the reason you have to separately download and install that PowerShell. Instead of taking that risk, change your terminal from PowerShell to command prompt. How to change, I will show you. Actually, first time it will give you PowerShell like this. You can see first time it is going to show like this, PS. PS means it is currently using PowerShell. Don't use this PowerShell. Change this to command prompt. For that, just what you have to do, here there is PowerShell and there is a drop down choice is there. You select the drop down, you will find command prompt. You select command prompt, it will open the command prompt. That is enough. That means what you have to do is open terminal. Of here, first step, what you have to do is change PowerShell. PowerShell to what? Command prompt. Change PowerShell to command prompt. After you change it to command prompt, now you have to run the command. You have to run the command. So npm, you have to run the command like this. The command is npm. Npm is Node Package Manager. You installed already Node Package Manager. npm init. You have to run the command npm init. npm init is the command which is the first thing you have to do in every project. What is this npm init? It is initializing project. It is initializing project. And generally what this npm init is going to do is it generates a file. It generates a file package.json. It generates a file called package.json. Actually, package.json is a file that contains project metadata. It contains project metadata. This is very, very important. In every professional web application, there will be a metadata file, and that is package.json. Any project, JavaScript based application, Angular, React, Vue, anywhere, you will find this package.json. Package.json. This is containing metadata. That means, for example, suppose you are learning a technology. When you are learning a technology, you want to practice some projects. Some of your friend developed a project and he asked you, or online so many projects are there. Online so many offline projects will be there. Means so many demo projects will be there. You can download them. I hope you people know very popular website called Code Project. You know it? Code Project is very popular worldwide, and it is millions of members are there as a community here. It's a very big community actually. You open this Code Project. Code Project is very popular among all software developers across the world, right? All technology people. In this Code Project, it will provide you several sample projects related to all technologies, including artificial intelligence also, including artificial intelligence, embedded systems, everything. All types of projects, sample projects, sample codes are provided here. You can keep in touch here. Even if you have any technical issues related to any problem, right? So you know Stack Overflow, right? Many people know Stack Overflow, where they post the questions related to any technology. And here also you will get discussions, community is there. You can post your issue, they will find the solution and show you the solution. Any issues you are facing related to your projects. It's a very big community. You can download a project from here. You can search for projects. You can download any projects. You can see a lot of there. So all Python, artificial intelligence, IoT, DevOps, web, mobile, .NET, so many, C, C++, Java. Various technology projects are available here. What you do is you download a project. Suppose you downloaded a project. After downloading the project in your computer, you try to run the project. It will fail. It will fail. 100% it will fail. Why it will fail? Because you downloaded a project developed by somebody, right? And after downloading, so how you can directly run the project? First, you need to have all the environment that is required for that project. That means in that project, they have installed some libraries. Those libraries you must install in your PC also. Otherwise, how it will work? I hope you understood. No? Now, the question for you is, how do you know what libraries he used? How do you know which version library he used? Because even version compatibility issues will be there. That all information is present in a file called package.json. So as a developer, whenever I got a project, first I will go to the package.json and see what libraries he is using, which version he is using. Every information about the project and its libraries is present in package.json. Not only that, how do I know how to run this project? What is the command for running the project? That means to run projects, different projects have different commands, right? Different projects have different commands. How do we know which command to run which project? Some people say npm start. Some people say some yarn start something. How do we know which one? So that information is also present in package.json. Package.json tells how do we run the project. So what is the project library? What version it is? What is the version of libraries? Everything you will get there. And actually that package.json is generated by using this command. Now, very important, when you run this command, it will walk through some questions. It will ask you some questions. You need to answer those questions. Let's do that. If you don't want to answer the questions and you want that file to be generated automatically, later you will modify. If you want according to requirement, you can use -y. That is an optional flag. If you use npm init y, now it will not ask any questions. It will simply generate a file called, which file? Package.json. It is going to generate package JSON file. So it is going to generate the package JSON file. So the package JSON file requires that. Now npm init y. So what I need to do, open this command prompt. Here you see currently what are the folders we are having, public and src. Now you see here I am using npm init. Just enter. Now it will start asking some series of questions to you. npm init and just enter. And it will ask some series of questions here. See, it is asking. First question, it is asking what should be the project name. That means what is your app name, the app that you are developing. So by default, it taken the folder name. You can leave it in the parentheses. These are default values. You can leave them. Or if you want, you can make change. You can add a new name also. That means you can add a new name like JavaScript app. Like this, a new name you can add. Right? You can leave the name what it is having, or you can add a new name. It is asking what is the name. Because in the parenthesis folder name is enough. That is enough. Then hit enter. Hit enter. Next step, it is asking version. By default, current app version is 1, first version. Okay. Next, it is asking any description. Description, you can write any description. That is, I am writing like JavaScript app for client and server interactions like this I am giving. Next, it is asking entry point. Entry point means starting. Usually every JavaScript based application starts with index.js file. It is showing that. Do you want index.js file? Leave it, enter. And the test command is used for testing. Testing means you can test your project. For that you need test frameworks. Currently we don't know any testing, so we can leave it empty. Later we can change them if you want. Next, it is asking, is there any Git repository? You can collaborate your projects with Git. You know, Git is a versioning tool, right? So you can use Git. So currently we don't have any Git. Later we can attach to Git. So ignore this also. Keywords. What are the keywords used to search for your project? That means if it is on live, then there need some keywords, right? Suppose I will say JavaScript project examples. That is the keywords, something I'm giving. Next, author is some Naresh IT, something I am giving author. And license by default MIT license something. You have different licenses. If you are having license, you can give the license name. Actually, later you can get an idea on different licenses, right? So enter. Okay, it is saying, are you sure with all these things that you have mentioned? So if you are sure with all these you have mentioned, you just say yes. That means you say type yes and enter. A package JSON file is created now. A package JSON file is created, and in this file all the concept is configured. Everything that you mentioned is there. And remember, not only this, later lot of other things will be added, updated into this file. Automatically it will update. Automatically it will show settings. That means if you are doing any modifications, those modifications will be keep on updating here. That means you are installing a new library. It will put that information here, which library installed, which version installed, everything you can get into this file. Here you can make a lot of changes in the settings also. I will tell you what changes we can make in the settings later, we will discuss. But here If you don't want to answer all these questions, just you want to create a package JSON later with default, all default, there is another technique. Let me do that. I will delete this file. I will delete this file. Delete this file. Again and again, I am telling, please concentrate on that. Don't run in PowerShell. Make sure that you are running in command prompt only. Change your terminal to command prompt, because next day everybody will come and say, sir, error is coming, it is not working. The reason, two things. One, you haven't installed Node.js. Without installing Node.js, npm will not work, compulsory. Second, you are maybe using PowerShell. Don't use PowerShell. Change to what? Command prompt, right? Open this now. Open the command prompt. I deleted package JSON actually. I deleted the package JSON, not there. Now I will use one more time like this. What is that? npm init, and I will use a y flag. When I use a y flag means take yes for all values, and automatically it will generate a package JSON without asking you any questions. And you can see a package JSON is created for you. In that, all default settings will be there. If you want, you can make changes. You can make changes into that, right? Default settings it will take by default. This is very, very important for any project, because a developer can know the status of the libraries, version of the libraries, dependencies of the project from a file called package JSON. So this is important. Okay, next, this is not enough. Another important, what is the purpose? Why we need package JSON? I clearly explained, right? Why we need package JSON? I given a lengthy explanation also, right? You saw that. So now the point, next important concept here is, once you defined here, once you configured this here, as of now, don't worry about what settings are present in this file. Okay, later you are going. Now, once it is ready, another important, which language we are going to learn, in the which language to use, which language we are going to use? JavaScript. So if you are using JavaScript or Java or C# or VB or different types of languages, one problem we will face as a one of the main problem is, generally the problem is with the developers is, mostly in a development project, hundreds of developers are working on same project. Hundreds of people are working on same project. All people learned from same person Java, na? All people learn from the same person. Means everybody have his own ideas about JavaScript. Yeah, everybody have his own tricks, his own techniques of JavaScript. That means now somebody shows some techniques, somebody shows some tricks in JavaScript, and you will try to implement that in the project. Now, how do others know what tricks you are doing in this JavaScript? That means one of the main big problem we will face here is lot of code inconsistency will come. Code inconsistency. Somebody writes in one way, another person writes in another way. Just example I will tell you. In HTML itself, I will tell you. Suppose you are writing an anchor. You are writing an href. And you are writing here the path. Now I am writing the path home.html. It will work. It will work. So I am writing href in single quote home.html. It will work. I am writing anchor href is in double quote home.html. It will work. Now which one is? One person write single quote, another person write double quotes, one person doesn't write quotes. That's all nonsense in coding. We don't want this kind of inconsistency in coding. In real world projects, we don't want at all. That means the problem with languages is Every language has lot of techniques and tricks which developer may apply according to his knowledge, which may not be known to other developers in the team. That is the reason we don't want these kind of things to happen. And sometimes people even don't know the proper standards and they start writing, because at learning level they work. Yeah. So suppose you might have learnt any programming language, and in some programming language, your trainer told you that you can write a if condition. Am I right? You can write an if condition. And while writing if condition, we write statement on true, and else we write statement on false. We write like this. Now your trainer tells you that the person who teaches you language tells you that in the after if condition, the statements are written in a block. They are written in a block, and your trainer will tell you that without block also it will work. Your trainer will tell you that without writing this block also it will work. Usually it will work. But if you are not writing the block, what is the purpose of block? The purpose of block is to tell where to start, where to end. Without writing it, what you are trying to tell? You are confusing the compiler. You are wasting the time of compiler. Now you may think it is shortcut, but in software technologies, we call this as bad code. This is bad code. That means your trainer may tell it is a shortcut. That is nonsense actually. Why? Because what shortcut it is? Compiler is unable to understand it properly and immediately. You are wasting its time. You tell exactly where to start, where to stop, then it will do it fast. That means this is not good coding. This is bad coding. These kind of techniques, so many we will see people implementing. Due to that, it will affect the application. So we don't want all this. So that is the reason what we do is in every project, we install language analysis tool. So analysis tool. We install language analysis tool. We call them as lint, language analysis tools. What is the purpose of this language analysis tool? Language analysis tool is nothing but it is going to verify the code written by developer is as per standards. If he is violating the standards, then immediately it warns him that this is bad coding. For example, you might have seen lot of language analysis tools like PMD. PMD is a language analysis tool. It is a language analyzer. PMD, Sonar, all these are language analysis tools. And you go to the documentation, you see PMD documentation. In the documentation, you see there is rule reference. You open the rule reference, you will see Java rules, HTML rules, JavaScript rules, everything will come. Suppose I will go to ECMA rules. ECMA means JavaScript rules. I will go to best practice and you can see code styles. In the code styles, you can see here, this is the code style and the code style. Yeah, you can see this is the code style. And in the code style, you can see they are saying that this is okay, this is bad. This is okay and this is bad. That means they are saying that open curly brace, close curly brace. Here it is not given, but it will work, right? So this is bad. Your trainer will tell you, you can try like this, but we generally in real world don't recommend this. right? We don't recommend this. This is bad. Who is saying this is bad? The people who developed that language, they are saying this is bad. Then who are you to implement your own techniques there? This leads to lot of inconsistency in coding, lot of performance issues. So we don't want developers in real-time projects to implement their known techniques, because your known techniques are not known to others in your team. That's not possible to do. So you all have to follow constant standards. And those, for that, what happens is these kind of analysis tools are installed in software. So in your projects, so that when you are typing itself, it will warn you saying that don't do this. This is not good. For JavaScript, one of the JavaScript language analysis tool is ESLint. ESLint is JavaScript language analysis tool, ECML lint tool. This tool must be installed in your project, especially when you are working on JavaScript. You must install this. So you can visit the official website. You can see ESLint. ESLint. This is JavaScript code analysis tool. This is the JavaScript code analysis tool. Find and fix problems in your JavaScript. This is the language analysis tool. Now what you have to do is you have to install this language analysis tool in your project. Then what it will do is, while writing JavaScript code, it will verify is the code according to the standards of JavaScript. If it is not, it will show immediately warnings. It will say that don't do this, right? So, and for that, what you have to do is you have to run this command. What is the command? You have to install another one. Next, what you have to do is another one, run another command. So fifth one, install ESLint, install ESLint configuration. So actually what it is, so it is used to analyze. So, or you say it is used to verify the code and report the issues in code. That means code as issues in code. And what are the issues? Issues not related to compiling. Issues related to what? Issues related to coding standards. Not related to compiling, variable not declared. These are not, that is compiler's work, right? This is coding standards. Are you giving the name correctly? Is the name according to the standards? You know, names are given in camel cases. These all rules are very important. That is language analysis tool. And for that, you have to run the command like this. npm init ESLint config, @ESLint config. This is the command you have to run. You need to run this command. It will install ESLint in your project. So let's go to the project now here. So now I will go to the project and here open the terminal. In the terminal, you need to run one more command. What is that command? npm init ESLint slash what? Config. ESLint slash config. You have to run this command. Run the command. When you run this command, now you can see here, it is going to ask some series of questions now. And see, do you want to proceed with the configuration? Yes. Okay, it is installing. And you can see it will ask some series of questions. It is asking how you would like to use ESLint, to check only syntax, or to check syntax and find problems, or to check syntax, find problems and enforce coding style. Enforce coding style means if anybody is not following coding standards, then force him to use the standards. This is the last one we want to do. We want to check errors, find the problems, and not only that, coding styles. Don't allow them to violate the coding standards. So select that, enter. Next step, it is asking which module system you want to use. Module system you want to use. Module system is important for working with JavaScript libraries. I will tell you later in module concept. Oops, you will learn OOP concept. There are two module systems. We have require module system, another one JavaScript module system. Anything you can use, but majority, if you are working with just JavaScript, better use this JavaScript modules. So which modules? JavaScript modules. Okay, next. JavaScript module is ready. Okay, next it is asking which framework does the project is using. Is it using any framework like React and Vue? It is not using any frameworks like that. Later we can add them. So none of these. Okay. This is your project using TypeScript? No, it is not using TypeScript, right? If it is using TypeScript, it will add some more settings. Later you can understand them. And where do you run the code? Will you run the code in browser or will you run the code in Node compiler? Node compiler you don't need. Already Node compiler is there. You install Node.js na? So I will run in browser. Here I will select browser because we will see JavaScript with HTML first. If you have to see JavaScript with HTML, then you have to run in browser only. So select that. JavaScript with the server side, after HTML we will see. So as of now, we are using JavaScript to run in browser. So select browser. Okay. Next, it is asking, would you like to define style for your project? So this is having, so popular, use a popular style guide. That means define style for your project. This style is nothing but themes. Actually, we have different themes. You can apply those themes. We will see them also. And it is asking which style guide you want to follow. And it is asking the style guide. Is it Airbnb style guide, standard style guide, or Google ESLint guide? Actually, better to follow Google's ESLint configuration because our applications need to be SEO friendly, search engine friendly. Then Google standards are good to follow because Google even provides monetization for our applications. Monetization means they pay money for our apps by keeping advertisements. In that case, you must follow the standards of whom? Google, as per Google standards. We will select that. I will say Google standards. Okay. It is asking which format of config file you want. Config file, always better use which file? JSON. Package JSON and all. Better use JSON file. And with all the questions you have mentioned, it is asking, would you like to install them now? So yes, install them. And which package manager you are using? We know NPM is the package manager. Okay. That is all very important. That is the reason if you don't have a package manager, answering these questions will be difficult. You can't handle this. Now it is going to install everything, and immediately you will see in your project there is a new file called eslint.rc.json. eslint.rc.json. And when you open this file, you will see the JavaScript settings. And see JavaScript settings, and it is showing all the settings. As of now, few settings are there. Now there are so many settings you can configure. Those you have to configure here. A lot of others will be there. Rules means what? Variable name must be, string must be in single quote, or string must be in double quote, or class names must start with capital letter, like that. All such rules you can write. And if you developer is not following those rules, immediately it will show an warning. These are very important. What rules are written, how they are written, everything we will see that. But this is very important to have. Any language requires this. Many people know JavaScript, but they don't know about JavaScript configurations. right? JavaScript configurations, which are mandatory for real world projects. We cannot simply use JavaScript without setting any standards. So without setting standards, because it will lead lot of inconsistency in the coding. Now our project is ready. In one way, it is ready. Now we can add JavaScript programs, we can compile them, we can run them, and we can use them. But still there is no interface. We just configured file system. Interface is not there. Interface means there must be startup page. There must be some information inside it. We need to set up so many things. So how do we set up the startup? How do we configure? Those all things we will see now. That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. First, you have to do up to this. Up to this, if you keep ready in your PC, then from here, how to move forward in the next step, I will tell you. How to add pages, how to add files, how to write the code, how to run that, everything we will see that. That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that, okay? In tomorrow session, we will create the files and we can start working with that. But for that, first you need to set up this environment. If there are any doubts in the next session, I will clarify that. So those doubts related to this. Once you try this and tomorrow come up with the doubts, I will clarify the doubts. Okay. If you are facing any problem in setting up and installing, okay. Tomorrow we'll continue then, right? Offline people from tomorrow directly come here, right? Yeah, notes is available at Google Classroom code. I will share with you. So class code. The Google Classroom code I will give here. I will share with you. You can get all the notes from there. I will upload the previous videos also into this. Okay. Yes, you have any doubts? Online people, you can unmute. Yes, Pawan Kumar. Can you be little loud? I can't hear you.
Comment from PowerShell
Change the PowerShell to command prompt and run. Okay.
Yes, yes. Don't use PowerShell YR.
Don't do in PowerShell.
Sir, what is the difference between the PowerShell and command prompt?
PowerShell is a separate tool specially designed for running the command programs, and it needs some additional installation in your Windows. If it is not properly installed, it will not work. It is a special terminal. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, when your React.js course is going to start?
Mostly this week or next weekend. By next week, it will start.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, any offline classes you are providing?
Yes, I can't hear you. Can you be little loud?
Sir, any offline classes?
Offline classes are happening at our Naresh IT new campus.
Sir, we have started, sir, we have combined the courses.
Already
Probably,
offline and online both are simultaneously happening. Huh?
Sir, if possible, sir, can I join over there?
You can join offline, right?
Yes, sir, thank you so much.
Right.
Sir, PowerShell increase checker, sir. Once I can repeat.
Yes.
PowerShell, sir. Don't we use
You don't worry about PowerShell. Leave it. Huh?
Okay.
You use just command prompt. Huh? PowerShell is related to Windows operating system. Huh?
Mm.
Don't get worried about that.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, your another batch for HTML, CSS, JavaScript is going to start on March 2nd.
That is not complete. That is just only for our full stack developers. We have a
Okay.
full stack development course. In that course, it is a part, and according to that, only limited course content is discussed there. It is not
okay.
it is not an individual HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It is as per the syllabus of full stack people, and it is not complete. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
If I take both courses, any fees concession will be there?
I'm not sure about that. You need to talk to the admin. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Right. Yeah.
Hi sir, is notes is available in Google Classroom?
In Google Classroom, we are uploading the class details, everything. Huh?
Okay sir. And today class is going to take time?
Today class, we will upload tomorrow. By tomorrow, you will get it. Huh?
Okay sir, okay.
Right. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I'm asking, I'm a mechanical background graduate. Can
No
we
problem.
can,
You can continue. You can handle this. Don't worry about that. Huh?
and we can compete with those students who are the CS and
Hi.
I
Anybody can learn this. Huh? No issues. Huh?
and we got the job.
For job also.
Okay.
Right. Okay, then let's continue in tomorrow's session. Thank you.